Alan Schumann, author of A Course in Miracles, we are reminded that the key to experiencing love lies not in the pursuit of it, but in the exploration of the barriers we've erected within ourselves. This community is a nurturing space where individuals come together to uplift one another, sharing thoughts, insights, and wisdom that ignite the flames of personal growth. At the center of love, our mission is clear: to support each other on the life-altering path towards self-awareness, growth, and love. We believe that wisdom blooms when we delve into the depths of self-knowledge, that wholeness is achieved through the process of healing, and that the essence of love unites us with the interconnected fabric of existence. In this new space, we will celebrate the beauty of personal exploration, support each other, and ultimately strive to become one with the boundless force of love that permeates every aspect of our lives. It's an honor to be on this collective journey with each and every one of you. Together, let us uncover the barriers and embrace the transformative power that lies within as we embark on this shared quest for love, understanding, and unity. Today, I have the great privilege to introduce someone I hold very dear to my heart. Words, though sincere, feel insignificant in expressing the profound emotions I feel for him. Allow me to offer a glimpse into the extraordinary essence that his presence has bestowed upon my life. Much like a finely woven tapestry, his warmth, kindness, and inspiration have seamlessly integrated into the very fabric of my entire being. His wisdom has the remarkable ability to illuminate even the darkest moments.
Recording in progress.
Perfect.
And his loving kindness leaves an indelible mark on the hearts fortunate enough to know him. Within the depths of this man's eyes lies a rich world of wisdom and compassion, an abundant reservoir of understanding that effortlessly flows through every interaction. His authenticity serves as a guiding beacon, encouraging others to embrace their true selves. Through our many adventures, heartfelt conversations, and joint ventures, he remains a constant source of light, inspiration, and cherished confidant. His unwavering support, love, and genuine care have been pillars in my life, enriching the intricate fabric of my existence in ways language can scarcely capture. In him, I haven't just discovered a friend, a partner, or a loved one. I've been blessed to find a radiant beacon, my personal son. A soul whose presence paints the world in hues of joy, playfulness, passion, and love. With immense gratitude and affection, I invite you to experience the magic that is Oliver Big Daddy Villa. As he shares with us what he believes the world is in need of now.
I don't know about you all, but throughout that whole speech, I kept waiting to be like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Thank you, Candace, for stepping out of your comfort zone, getting up here on this very momentous day and sharing your truth with all of us. I really appreciate it. Ooh, and now it's my turn. Okay. So at the height of the pandemic, I found myself saddened and disturbed by the state of the world and the human condition. I felt hopeless and powerless. So one night, I consumed some medicinal fungi, let's call it, and I started to pray and meditate on these questions. I prayed for insight and instruction. Insight, so that I could better understand the human condition, and then instruction on how I can be a part of the cure, if you will. And it's called the condition for a reason. It is a condition. And so the message that I received after my prayers is perfectly captured by the chorus of the song we just listened to together. What I was told is that the world needs love, not just for some people, but for everyone. And in fact, it's the one thing in the world that there is a severe shortage of. And I felt the truth of this message in my bones. It was obvious, it was evident. Now, the part of the message where I was supposed to start a church, I didn't really feel that one in my bones too much. But one conversation with Candace and Cressa led to another conversation. And before I knew it, there was a group of people in my living room laying the groundwork for what is now the Center of Love. And then after 3 working sessions, we got right down to business. May 15th, 2022, once again in my living room, the first gathering of the Center of Love took place. And since then, we haven't stopped growing and evolving together. And now here we are, yet another milestone, our first gathering at our new, more spacious, more central location, more conducive for the growth and the health of our community. And so we give thanks not only to the shrieking children in the background, not only to Scouts Canada for leasing us this wonderful space, but we also give thanks to all of the people who have walked these lands before us, who were custodians of the land and who dwelt closely to the earth and in harmony with the Great Mother. Truly, we are blessed to be here, walking in their footsteps, and in our words and our deeds, we will seek to honor our ancestors. Amen. And of course, thank you all for being here. Thank you for taking the time to show up. It actually takes a lot of courage to show up to stuff like this, because we're not just here talking about the weather or the football game. There's no small talk in this community, only tall talk. In other words, we're getting high together, my friends. We're getting very elevated, and that's not always comfortable. Some people get vertigo. And so the fact that you're all here today is a sign that you're all very courageous. Now, one of my greatest teachers in life recently taught me that you cannot find the center of a circle without first finding its circumference. You can't find the center without locating the extremes first. And so if you're here today at the center of love, at the intersection, as I like to say, of here and now, then I can only assume that you've spent your fair share of time mapping out the circle. Otherwise, how could you possibly find the center? I can only assume that you have spent your time in the circle exploring the extremes, the mainstream, the orthodox, the cravings, the lack, the rat race, the spoken and the unspoken dogmas that direct our lives from the outside in. You've experienced these things and you're here, so I'm going to assume that you are in the process of rejecting the circumference. Congratulations. You're seeking an alternative to the trappings of the world, and that too requires a great deal of courage. You're seeking an alternative, at the very least, to mainstream religion. You could be hanging out with the Catholics this morning. You could be at temple or with the Unitarians, but instead you are here in Scout House with a ragtag group of spiritual but not religious types. And you're here with your full, authentic selves. So it's not easy to seek out a spiritual community. I spent many years doing so, and I had very little success. However, I will say that I met a lot of great people, some of whom are actually here today. Cressa and I met at the Unitarian Church, and we volunteered together, and that's how I got to meet her. And so I'm thankful for my experiences in seeking spiritual community, but I will say that no matter what church I went to, no matter what religion it belonged to, nothing ever really fed my soul the way this community feeds my soul. And so I hope that you will have a similar experience in this community, whether you have sought out a community before or not. Okay, so I feel like this is kind of like a new beginning. So whether it's your first time here, or you've been coming since the beginning, or you're somewhere in the middle, you probably have some questions about the center. You might be seeking a little bit more clarity, especially if you've been coming here since the beginning. Because it's all well and good. We get the warm, fuzzy feels, and we get to congregate and connect, but you might have more specific questions. For example, what are we doing here? Like, what's our actual goal in being a community and gathering and in coming together? What are we trying to achieve? And I suppose that question is closely connected to who we are, because who we are and what we do are just two expressions of the same thing, right? And so, if I may say so, I think that what we are is a group of like-hearted people. Like-hearted, not like-minded. Like-minded people create echo chambers because everybody thinks the same way and they believe the same things. And let me tell you something, echo chambers are comfortable, but growth and comfort do not coexist. And so if we are here seeking growth, whether personal or collective, then we should avoid the echo chamber as much as possible. And so when you gather with like-hearted individuals, instead of an echo chamber, what you get is a resilient web of diversity, or if you want to go into a nice artistic metaphor, a mosaic, where each and every person here is a perfectly imperfect piece of the whole tapestry, right? And what threads the web, you ask? What holds the mosaic pieces together, you wonder? Well, my friends, you're all here, so I think you all know the answer. Maybe you can say it with me on 3. 1, 2, 3. Love! Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. I have a nice quote from a gentleman that I really admire, Théâtre de Chardin. He was a Jesuit priest and an anthropologist. So he was coming at it from the scientific perspective and the spiritual perspective. And he wrote a very interesting book called The Phenomenon of Humanity. And in it, he writes, love alone is capable of uniting living beings in such a way as to complete and fulfill them. Did you get that? Not only does it bring us together, it also completes and fulfills us at the same time. Why? Because it alone takes us and joins us by that which is deepest within us, the heart. So we are connected with love by the heart together. And not only are we connected, we're completing ourselves. We're becoming more whole as a result. So without being too heavy-handed, I will simply say that love is the way. Love is the cure to the condition. Love is the answer to the question, what do we do now? What do we do now? What we do now is spread love with our thoughts, with our words, and more importantly, with our actions. Because that's what the world needs now. I'm going to assume that you all agree with that point because you're all here. So if you agree that the world needs love, who better to spread that love than us who are gathered here today? We're here to build bridges. We're here to mend fences. We're here to heal old wounds. We're here to move forward into a better world of our own choosing. So that's it. Simple, right? Spread love. That's the mission. If you want to boil it down to its most essential essence. And it's interesting to me that the Apostle Paul really summarized our mission 2,000 years ago when he wrote a letter to the Corinthian congregation. And he tells the congregation in Corinth, he says, let all that you do be done in love. To lead with love, to make love our central motivation for what we do and what we say and what we think, that, my friends, is the mission that you've all chosen to accept by being here. It's really simple. Spread love. Lead with love. It's so simple. It's almost too simple But what I will say is that simplicity is quite difficult for us modern human beings. We're primed for complexity, and we live in a very complex world that we've created. And so that's the purpose of our community. It's to support each other in this epic endeavor. It's not easy. I can't do it on my own. There are days where I just want to watch the world burn, my friends. And on those days, I need this, and I need you. And on the days where you feel like you want to watch the world burn, that's why we're here for you. Because there is a better way. You just need to be reminded sometimes. I know I do. Right? Simplicity is hard. So let's get together and let's help each other be ambassadors of love, beacons of love, spreaders of love. And when we get together in these gatherings, the purpose is for us to help each other in that mission, however we can. So the questions I would like to submit to you today for discussion, because as you know, that's a big part of our gatherings, is having a real conversation about this stuff. The questions I would like to ask you is, how do we actually pursue and achieve this goal to spread love in the world? Not in the abstract, but in concrete terms. How do we let all that we do be done in love? How can we be more effective and more consistent at making love the central motivation for our words, thoughts, and deeds? Right? Not in the abstract. What are some concrete ways that we can do this, whether at home with our families, with our friends, or in the larger world? Those are the questions that I'm submitting to you today. And after I finish my little rant, we're going to meditate for 10 minutes on these questions, and then we're going to break out and we're going to have soul-connecting conversation on the topic. But before we do that, as the speaker today, it is my job to prime the pump, so to speak, and share some of my own thoughts and tentative answers on the questions. And so I will do this very briefly. But first, some general observations about the center of love. When I look at the center of love, I see a paradox, okay? Because we are a spiritual community without set dogmas, doctrines, or practices. A spiritual community without a central authority figure. We don't have a pope. We don't have an archbishop. We don't have a priest or a minister. Everybody here is a student, and everybody here is a teacher. We don't even have a leader, although after today, maybe, just maybe, we have a big daddy. I don't know about that one. We'll let it sit, we'll let it meditate, we'll let it marinate a little bit. Thanks for that one, Candace. Appreciate it. So we don't have any of these things, right? We're a spiritual community without a Bible, we don't have a priest, we don't have anything. So that's kind of paradoxical in a lot of ways. But what the point of all this is, it's up to us as individuals to determine how we fulfill our holy mission to lead with love and to spread love in the world. There's nobody out there that's going to tell us what to do, what book to read, what practices that we have to engage in. It's up to us. And that can be a little scary, but it's also very liberating. And so we all have the same mission, but we're encouraged to complete it in our own unique way. And that's what makes this community special. It's not like your average church where you're told what to believe and what to do. You have personal sovereignty. You decide, right? We all agree on the mission. How you get there is entirely up to you. And so in closing, I will share one way that I think we can expand and magnify love's light in the world. And it's very simple. Once again, it's always simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Okay? By coming together with open minds and open hearts, and bringing our authentic, vulnerable selves every time, by sharing our truths with each other, and by listening and honoring other people's truths that we receive in these discussions, in these gatherings, and beyond in the world when you go out there, when you're exposed to someone else's truth, listening and honoring that truth is an act that will expand and magnify love more than you can know. It seems small and trivial, but the gift of presence the gift of active listening, and the gift of compassionate support. All of these are holy, world-altering work. We think we want to change the world and it's got to be dramatic and we got to do these crazy things and I got to invent something. No, it's so simple and every single one of us can do this. We all have access to an endless supply of love. You'll never run out, I promise. I thought I was going to run out after we had our second child. I was like, how am I going to love anybody more than my first child? I found a whole new heart full of love for just that person. You can never, ever exhaust it. It is infinite. So that's one way that I think we can magnify and spread love is by doing exactly what we are doing in this community. Sharing, listening, being authentic and vulnerable together, and supporting one another. Concrete actions. And now, after we meditate, I can't wait to hear all of your ideas and all of your suggestions for how we can magnify Light's love in this world that sorely needs it. And I'm just going to close off by saying, just in case it wasn't clear, I like taking Yeshua's words, Jesus, Yeshua, I like to call him by his real name. I like to take his words and I like to modify them slightly because I'd like to think that he was talking about what we're talking about here. And so what I will say to you is this. The kingdom of love will not come with signs. Nobody's going to say, hey, look, here's the kingdom of love. Or, oh, here's the kingdom of love. No one's ever going to say that. Because the kingdom of love is here now. It's within each and every single one of us. And it is weaving its way through and among us as we speak. And so all we have to do is open the doors, and we're already there. It's that simple.
I belong to no religion. My religion is love, and heart is my temple. Love can attain what the intellect cannot fathom.
It's Mayor Baba, so
Yep.
don't know who he is, but dropping some profound wisdom there. Right, so thank you for joining us at our first ever in-person gathering at the new location. It was a pleasure to see you all. New face, thank you very much for being here. Lori, thank you very much for attending in spirit and electronically. Always a pleasure. And so, yeah, we're off to the races now, folks. As you can tell, we have space. So if you had people in mind before that you thought would be a good fit for this community or who would benefit from this community or who might get a kick out of it, and you were holding off because we were all cramped in my living room, that's it. No more. Now you can start, go out there, go forth, make disciples of all people, bring them back, okay? We'll teach them the handshake, give them a glass of Kool-Aid, and we'll be good to go. Okay, folks. Thank you all once again for being here. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. This is just the start. 1.5 years in, and we're just getting started. There's a lot of potential, and there's a big need for what we're doing. As you all know, this is much in demand, even though some people may not realize that they need it. Once they experience it, they will know that they needed it, and they will be back. So go forth. Tell everyone. It's here. It's now. It's the Mighty Morphin Love Rangers. There we go. Assemble. All right.